Don't go anywhere because we bought another 8 minutes for Dan Russell, who's going to give us, who's going to give us another origin story. So this will be a beautiful ending to Kai Stories.
Thanks. I have a confession. Mea culpa, mea culpa, mea maxima culpa. I am actually an AI researcher. The good news is I got better. And the story is basically the Saul on Damascus story about how I converted. And what happened was that I was 1982, I had the perfect job. My PhD was in planning, AI planning. And I had a planning job at Xerox PARC, working with Richard Fikes, who had built this system called Bluebonnet. Does anybody recognize that? Okay, a couple of people. And it's a planning system. And so I got to build the UI and the help system. And in order to do that, I had to write an interlist D, a help system with interactive three-dimensional shaded graphics. And in those days, that meant I had to write matrix multiply for homogeneous matrix transformations because it didn't have matrix multiply. So I had to do all that. We built this system, and some of you probably know Lucy Suchman. Anybody? Okay. So she wrote a book called Plans and Situated Action. And she was doing some research there at the time, and she said, Dan, you know what we should do? A usability study. All right, why not? And I was young researcher, an AI researcher at the time. And I said, sure, let's do it. So we set up this big, complicated copier with my complicated system, this Bluebonnet system. And we would bring in people from Xerox PARC who were reasonably intelligent. And we would run them one at a time through our usability tests, and they would uniformly fail at our tests. And I was thinking, you know, with my young hubris, idiots, why do they not understand where to look on the display? And I had made the fundamental user experience design error, which is I thought everybody in my test population would think exactly like me. So Lucy, you know, we got to find some better users, right? Fine. So in those days, Xerox PARC was kind of a big crossroads. And so one day, Herb Simon, Nobel Prize winner, comes in, and we grab him, and we let him do the study, right? And you can tell what's going to go. It failed miserably. That was a defining moment for me, because I realized that it doesn't matter how good your AI is, if your UI sucks, it's lost. It's a lost cause. I switched from AI to HCI that moment. Lucy went on to write Plans and Situated Actions, chapter 6 of which is my disaster. So every time I see that reference, and every time you see that reference, you probably see it a lot. Google Scholar says it's got like 7,000 references. A little knife is turned in my belly when I realized, but it's an important lesson because I realized that the mistakes we make, the mistakes we watch our users make, actually tells us a lot. And so I still have this confession to make, which is, even though I've taught HCI for 25 years now, and I do it 24/7, I never took the courses. Will you forgive me? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to Gloria and Sue for putting together Kai Stories. Thank you so much. I'm so happy. And thanks to our committee, and thanks to everybody who came to see Kai Stories. Have a wonderful rest of the conference. And thanks to all the storytellers.